I'm Andrew, and welcome back to Custom Cards, where we teach you to make your own Magic the Gathering cards. Today we're designing green commons for our Norse-themed set. We want about 11 of them to be creatures. For mechanics, green gets Deify, Runes, and Fortify. Let's start with our Deify card. Green likes to ramp, so maybe we make the transform cost a lot of mana. Then, to help you get there, this can be a mana dork. Then we can add another use for mana on the backside. For Fortify, let's model it after Darksteel Garrison, and give the land a triggered ability whenever it becomes tapped. Maybe you gain 1 life. Now that seems low, but gaining 1 life per turn is better than it seems. Now real talk, I want Fortify to be a good mechanic, but it just isn't. The only effects that justify using a full card to suit up your land would be too powerful to actually print, especially at common. We're probably going to have to scrap it and maybe make a defender theme to take its place, but for now we can leave this as is. While we do have Fortify, let's make a ramp spell that lets you attach your fortifications to the land you search up. And we can also make a creature that untaps a land when it enters. This can be used to power out an early board or just to reuse a Fortify ability. Okay, for runes, how about we make a cantrip to help you find more runes? Then we can tack on life gain equal to your runes. And for our other rune, we can make a fight spell that grants bonus power equal to your runes. Now let's have green lean into runes pretty hard because it doesn't have the pillage design space that other colors have. So let's give our commune spell the ability to grab lands or enchantments. Though some decks will want to amass a lot of runes, others won't have a use for them once they're in play. So let's make a creature that can sacrifice them for effect. Maybe it can force target creature to block. To finish off our runes package, let's make a creature that, when it dies, you get back an enchantment from your graveyard. This can help you reuse old runes. Now to help out our deity, we're going to want some more ramp. We made a rampant growth, but let's add one more option. How about a creature that tutors out a land? This can both ramp you and help you survive to use that mana. Now let's move on to some more basic creatures. Most sets want a reach creature with higher toughness, so it can survive a while and keep flyers at bay. We could also use a Death Toucher. Now these French vanilla creatures may be a bit boring, but remember that not every card has to be a showstopper. It's more important to make a functional set than to have every card competing for attention. On the other hand, sometimes you want to spice it up. For our Trampler, we could just do something simple, but we have a bit of a ramp theme. What if we give this guy a landfall trigger that gives him +1/+1 in trample? You could even trigger it at instant speed with our rampant growth, which is a nice interaction. Now I liked Kujar Seed Sculptor in Kaladesh, but the way targeting works, it couldn't give a counter to a vehicle unless it was already crewed. So let's fix that by letting it put the counter on a creature or vehicle you control. We haven't made a 1-drop yet, so let's try one of those. It's always hard coming up with an interesting design for 1-drops. Maybe it gets +1/+1 on your turn? That lets it always attack as a 2/2, which is a bit stronger than common 1-drops usually get. But let's just make a note to keep an eye on it during playtesting, and we can change it if need be. For our last creature, we could use a vanilla. We only have one 4-drop, so let's make one of those. At 4 mana, green usually gets a 4/3, a 3/4, or sometimes a 4/4. We have a 3/4 already, so let's go with 4/3. Lastly, we need some utility spells. For our Naturalize, no need to get fancy. Let's just reprint Naturalize. And we can make Plummet a bit cheaper by limiting it to dealing a certain amount of damage to flyers. 4 sounds about right. And now we could use a combat trick. How about it gives +2/+2 for 1 mana, but it can help out a deity deck by doubling the bonus if you have a god. Now maybe if you have a god, you're far enough ahead you don't need the extra bonus, but let's just try it like this for now. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and tell us in the comments what green commons you would design for this set. We'll be back next Thursday to talk about colorless.